The star cruiser Velsarth drifted through the pale blue haze of the Sylith Nebula, its hull glowing faintly with the luminescence the region was famous for. To most of the Galactic Union, the nebula was a sightseer's dream. Ethereal, radiant, endlessly calm. To the crew of the Velsarth, however, it was home for the next 5 months. The ship was midway through a diplomatic tour meant to stabilize tensions between the Union and the recently contacted Kargathi Dominion. But the crew's mission wasn't what dominated the ship's daily conversations. It was the cub, a Kargathi royal predator cub. Barely weaned, barely sentient, and absolutely, utterly uncontrollable. The cub was an honor gift, a symbol of trust between species, entrusted to the Velsarth for safe delivery to the Union Embassy on Kargath Prime. The gesture meant everything politically. And, so far, only chaos for everyone on board. The cub had been screaming for 3 straight days. Not crying, screaming. A high-pitched, oscillating shriek that sent even the hardened Varkathi soldiers trembling. Its claws were like obsidian razors, its teeth were already dagger-sharp, and its temperament, well, if rage could be distilled into a living creature, it would look exactly like the tiny, furious puffball currently confined in a reinforced enclosure in Medbay. Even the Kargathi envoys escorting it had given up. It is difficult, one had admitted, while sporting new bite marks. Kargathi young bond only to mothers during the nesting phase. Separation is traumatic. The cub will not calm. Every specialist on the Velsarth had tried. Zoologists, Xenopsychologists, veteran handlers. None could even get close without being slashed, bitten, or screamed at until their audio receptors rang. The ship was fraying at the seams. Sleep-deprived deckhands shuffled through corridors with hollow eyes. Engineers made mistakes. Officers snapped. The captain himself was overheard muttering, "If that creature doesn't sleep soon, I'm spacing myself." On day 4, when the cub's cries hit frequencies that cracked a wall panel, the senior officers called an emergency meeting. That meeting changed everything, not because of the plan they made, but because of who walked in uninvited. A human, not a xenobiologist, not a diplomat, not a soldier, a human cargo technician named Morgan Hale. Morgan wasn't meant to be anywhere near the command deck. He spent most of his days cataloging supply crates, repairing shipping drones, and drinking coffee strong enough to devarnish a shuttle door. He kept his head down. He did his job. He didn't expect much from the galaxy, and the galaxy didn't expect much from him. But Morgan also hadn't slept in 4 days. He had tried earplugs. He had tried white noise generators. He had even taped a pillow over his door. Nothing blocked out the cub's unending shrieking. So when he heard the officers arguing again about how to calm the creature, something inside his exhausted mind snapped. He marched inside the briefing room, still in grease-stained coveralls, holding a steaming cup of coffee like a weapon. "Listen," he said, voice rough, "I don't care about protocols. I don't care about chain of command. But if somebody doesn't shut that kid up, I swear I'm gonna fuse my head inside a cargo container and call it a day." 7 alien officers stared at him. The captain, a tall, silver-quilled Thornic, blinked. "Technician Hale, you are not authorized." Morgan raised a hand. Yeah, I know. Look, what have you tried so far?" "Everything," the xenopsychologist groaned. "Temperature shifts, low-grav soothing, recorded maternal heartbeats, weighted nesting cloths, artificial pheromones. Nothing works." "That's because you're thinking too complicated," Morgan muttered. "It's a baby. It is a super-predatory, apex youngling," the Thornic captain corrected. "A baby," Morgan repeated. The room went silent. "And you believe you can calm it?" the captain asked skeptically. Morgan shrugged. Yeah, it's just scared, overstimulated, needs comfort." Xenopsychologist Vera clicked her mandibles. "Human, this infant is genetically programmed to attack anything unfamiliar. It is not capable of calming without a maternal bond." Morgan rubbed his temples. "Did you try giving it a box?" Everyone blinked. "A box?" repeated the Kargathi envoy, completely lost. "Yeah," Morgan said, "like a cardboard box. Privacy, security, boundaries. Every kid I've ever met loves boxes." The room erupted into immediate disagreement. That is absurd. That material is not certified. The creature would reduce it to shreds. You cannot be serious. Morgan held up his cup of coffee. I haven't slept in 91 hours. I am deadly serious. The captain studied him for a long moment, then sighed. Fine. Hale, you are hereby granted conditional clearance to enter medbay under supervision. If you are mauled to death, we will be noting that we strongly advised against this. Works for me, Morgan said, and headed straight for storage. Medbay smelled of antiseptic and fear. The screams had grown hoarse but no less furious. The cub, a small shadow-striped creature with overlarge eyes and ears, thrashed within its reinforced habitat pod, slamming against the walls hard enough to send tremors through the room. 2 medics stood by with tranquilizers they were too afraid to use. Morgan took a steadying breath. Okay, don't die. Dying would be embarrassing. He approached the pod. The cub hurtled itself at the transparent barrier, teeth bared. Hey buddy, Morgan murmured. The cub screeched, a sound like metal scraping across metal. Morgan knelt. You're having a rough one, huh? Everyone stared. No one dared move. Morgan set down what he'd brought. A simple, medium-sized cardboard box, folded closed. The medics exchanged looks. The captain pinched the bridge of his nose. The Kargathi envoy muttered, "This is insanity." Morgan ignored them. He tapped the top of the box lightly. The cub froze. For the first time in days, it stopped moving, stopped shrieking, stopped clawing. It stared. Morgan slowly lifted the box flap and wiggled it, ever so slightly. Fwip, fwip. The cub's ears twitched. Morgan moved the box closer to the habitat's entrance slot and gently slid it inside. The cub sniffed it, then it pounced. Everyone jumped, except Morgan. But instead of shredding it, the cub shoved its head inside the box, then its paws. Then, after a moment of hesitation, its whole body, and then silence. Total, unreal, breathtaking silence. Not a peep, not a growl, just a tiny rustle as the cub curled up inside the cardboard walls. Morgan exhaled. There you go, little guy. Safe space. The medics looked shell-shocked. The captain whispered, I do not believe what I am seeing. It is nesting, the Kargathi envoy said quietly, astonished. The box mimics a natural burrow structure. Confinement, darkness, pressure walls. This human has recreated a nesting den from trash. Morgan scratched his beard. Yeah, kids like boxes. Human enrichment techniques, Vera muttered. Primitive, inelegant, disturbingly effective. The cub yawned from inside the box. A soft chirp followed. Then, it slept. 3 days of screaming. Now, sleeping. Morgan slumped to the floor in relief. The captain turned to him, eyes wide. Hale, I do not know what to say. Morgan raised his coffee cup weakly. You're welcome. News traveled faster than FTL comms. Within 2 hours, everyone on the Velsarth knew. Within 8 hours, photos circulated of the box like a religious icon. Within 12 hours, the senior officers were quietly making bets about whether the cub would allow anyone other than Morgan near it. They lost those bets. Whenever anyone else approached the box, the cub hissed violently. Whenever Morgan approached, it chirped. Morgan had accidentally become the cub's new mother. He handled it surprisingly well. What am I supposed to do? He asked the captain the next morning. It won't let me leave the room. That is because it has imprinted on you, the captain said. A powerful honor among the Kargathi. It keeps dragging the box closer to me, Morgan said. And it yells if I don't look at it. That is normal. It brought me a shredded med glove like a gift. That is extremely normal. It keeps trying to sleep on top of my shoes. That means you are its chosen guardian. Morgan stared. I fix cargo drones for a living. I am not qualified for this. Nevertheless, the captain said, patting his shoulder, you are now its mother. Over the next week, life aboard the Velsarth improved dramatically. The cub slept regularly. It ate without tantrums. It even allowed brief handling, only by Morgan, and began purring when he scratched its chin. People began calling Morgan the Cub Whisperer. Others called him the Box Prophet. One crewman built a shrine to cardboard in his honor. Even the Kargathi envoys treated him with reverence. "You have achieved what no off-worlder ever has," the lead envoy said. "If the Dominion learns of this, you will become a cultural figure of immense respect. Possibly worshipped." "Please don't," Morgan begged. "I'm tired." The envoy nodded solemnly. "A humble prophet. Even better." As the Velsarth neared Kargath Prime, tension grew. The Dominion was fiercely protective of their young. The cubs' safety was a political matter. The Union trusted the Velsarth, but one injury, one moment of distress could sabotage years of negotiation. The officers prepared for the handoff ceremony, with the anxiety of people diffusing a ticking bomb with missing manual pages. Morgan mostly tried not to fall asleep standing up. On the day they arrived, the grand hall of the Kargathi embassy was filled with towering armored reptilian figures. Their eyes glowed like molten amber. Their presence alone radiated dominance. Morgan stepped inside carrying a cardboard box. Everyone stared. Inside the box, the cub peeked out, wide-eyed, quiet, curious. The Kargathi delegates froze in disbelief. One knelt. "Is it calm?" Morgan nodded. Another delegate whispered, "How?" Morgan cleared his throat. Box," the delegates murmured in awe, as if he'd delivered ancient wisdom from beyond the stars. The Kargathi matron, the biological mother of the cub, approached slowly. She towered over Morgan, armored hide shimmering. She studied him with predator stillness. "You are the human who soothed my offspring," she said, voice resonant. Morgan swallowed. "Yes, ma'am." "You hold my child without fear." "Yes, ma'am. You allowed it to sleep, to nest, to know comfort." Morgan nodded nervously. "Tried my best." The matron bowed her enormous head. "To provide peace to a Kargathi young, you show courage, instinct, heart, qualities of a true warrior mother." Morgan's brain fuzzed. "Warrior what?" The matron gently lifted the cub from the box. The cub resisted at first, chirping, reaching toward Morgan, but the matron nuzzled it softly, calming it. The cub curled into her arms, finally home. The hall relaxed. Diplomats exhaled. The captain sagged with relief. One envoy wiped away a tear. Morgan just stared at his empty box. The matron addressed him again. "This small one will remember you, your scent, your steadiness, your den." She placed a heavy clawed hand on his shoulder. "You are welcome in the Dominion as kin. Few off-worlders receive such honor." Morgan nodded awkwardly. "Happy to help, really?" The matron lifted the cub high, a ceremonial gesture, and the hall echoed with thunderous approval. The mission was an overwhelming success. Thanks to Morgan, and thanks to a cardboard box. After the ceremony, the Velsarth prepared to depart. Morgan returned to his quarters, weary but relieved. A knock came at his door. It was the captain. "Hail," the captain said warmly. "I wish to thank you once again. Your actions saved this mission." Morgan shrugged. "Just needed sleep." The captain smiled. "Regardless, the Union has approved a special commendation, and the Kargathi Dominion has sent a gift." "A gift?" The captain stepped aside. A shipping crate hovered behind him. Morgan frowned. "Did they send me a medal or something?" The crate shook. Morgan's eyes widened. "Oh no, 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 no." The lid popped open. Inside was not the cub, but a brand new reinforced nesting box crafted from durable Kargathi resin, painted in ceremonial colors and engraved with alien runes. At the top, a note read, "To the human Morgan Hale, may your dens always be strong, your boxes always comforting, and your young, whenever you have them, always sleep soundly. With honor, the matron of claws." Morgan pressed a hand to his face. "They're going to think every human carries kids around in boxes, aren't they?" "Oh yes," the captain said cheerfully. "The cultural misunderstandings have already begun." Morgan groaned. The captain patted his shoulder. "Take pride, Hale. Few individuals shift the course of diplomacy. Even fewer do so with a piece of shipping refuse." Morgan chuckled softly. "Well, guess I'm good for something." "You are good," the captain agreed. And you have changed interspecies relations in ways no one could have predicted. Morgan stared at the nesting box. Should I keep it? You must, the captain said solemnly. By Kargathi custom, it is a sacred symbol. A mark of your bond? Morgan sighed. Guess I'm a warrior mother now. That night, Morgan slept for the first time in nearly a week. He dreamed of nebula light, soft purring, warm cardboard walls, and a tiny cub curled peacefully at his feet. He dreamed of the strange, chaotic, wonderful universe, and of how sometimes the smallest acts create the widest ripples. And somewhere across the stars, a Kargathi cub slept soundly in its mother's arms, but still reached occasionally for its remembered den, a den shaped like a box.